Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 9:58 a.m. on the 9th of February 2024. And I only just got out of bed not long ago and quickly gobbled down my tablets, and I feel like hell and I look like hell. I was up every 15 to 20 minutes last night up until 4:26 a.m. and then I woke up at 9:30. So I got 5 hours sleep between 4:26 a.m. and 9:30, and the rest of the night was a living torture, up every 15 to 20 minutes, and then about every 45 minutes to an hour for between 2 and 4:26. So this is not sustainable, people, living this way, but I guess it's my new normal. I'll have to get used to it. It's going to be dragging on for quite some time until I die, and I'm not happy about it, but well, we all die. We all freaking die, people. But yes, I don't know why my bladder was worse last night than it was the night before, because I didn't actually drink a lot yesterday. I stopped drinking after about 7 p.m. according to my urologist orders, and I really didn't have much liquid in me at all, and yet my body extruded so much liquid. Honestly, you'd think I'd lose weight, wouldn't you? With all the output I'm doing, but my body is a Viking type berserker body. Like my mother had the same problem. If you starved her, she actually gained weight. It was bizarre. Well, bloated up with fluid, which I got to observe when she was dying of advanced Alzheimer's and hadn't eaten or given anything to drink she hadn't eaten for 3 weeks. She was bloated and looked as fat as anything, and the day she died it was alarming. Unlike Case, who wasted away and looked like he just freshly stepped out of a concentration camp with the bone cancer. He actually wasted away. But anyway, I know that I've got my mother's body type, so I know that my body will fight to the bitter end to preserve itself, even making me look bloated and fatter. Anyway, these are dark thoughts, but I'm just a little bit frightened this morning, to tell you the truth, after I've had a series of bad nights this week, but last night was probably the worst. So, I'm sitting out in the garden. It was sunny when I stepped outside. Now I'm going to have to make a mad dash with us out of the rain. Looks like we're going to get rained on. So, very annoying. Very annoyed about that. It's Friday, so I'm hoping to summon up enough Viking berserker, Jewish, wild woman energy to go dancing tonight. I probably will. I usually do. I do usually put myself out in the world. But if I feel terrible, I'll stay home, because it's not worth, putting my body through masses of exercise when it's already extremely fatigued. But I guess I can have a nap or something later on in the day, take things easy. So those are my musings for the morning. Very not very pleasant ones, given how my health is deteriorating, but it is what it is, people. And I'm thinking about my daughter and how I've been completely abandoned when my health is spiraling under, and it's it's the most evil, awful thing that could ever happen to me, but it is what it is, coming from the level of toxicity that I was spawned by, that I also spawned people that don't love me, don't care about me. So there is that. It's a seeping grief that I'll take with me to my grave. And yeah, especially since I wasn't abusive like my parents were to me, and they were estranged for very good reason. But anyway, it is what it is. Life goes on. I'll dance tonight, the dance macabre, amongst people who think I'm wonderful, because they don't really, you know, they don't really know me, they don't know my life, they don't know my history. Hope I don't get those awful stalker women again, because they were foul. But I'm not going to give up on my dance, people. It's the only thing keeping me going at the moment. That little bit of whimsy and magic and delight and music and life. Could do with a nice cuddle right now, just saying, but that was another game played. So yes, it's been a weird few months, people. Well, I'll have to take back control over even over my own death when it comes. Must not be vulnerable to people who are cruel and sadistic, ever. So here we have today's memories, 9th of February 2024. The eye of Horus cast to my bosom, but integrity is everything. I am seen and heard and vindicated. Yes, I am. Just got to get my mouse to work. Here we go. Here's a beautiful photograph of my raspberry tiger rose. I call it the Lazarus rose since it keeps almost dying and I think it's dead, and I'm always just about to dig it out, and then it punches out a new shoot and starts off again. It's been a miraculously resilient rose. So, and it is beautiful, but I've lost my prize weeping Pierre de Ronsard rose. I think that has died with this last heat wave and then all the rain. It just must have rotted out its root system. So I'm a bit upset about that, because that was my prize, pride and joy. But everything has its season, including roses, darlings. Everything dies eventually. So the remedy for that is to thoroughly enjoy and embrace and live every moment of every day as joyfully and triumphantly and wildly and freely as we possibly can, because time is precious now, especially at the time of life I'm at now, alone in my garden. It is what it is, people. Would have been nice to have a wonderful, loving partner who cared about me and had my back, but that didn't manifest. So it is what it is, people. You're going to hear me say that a lot. It is what it is. Doesn't mean I'm happy about it, though. Bamboo trees making lovely rustling sounds. She too is saying, it is what it is. Own your life, Tanya. Be happy, it's the ultimate revenge. 9th of February 2023, 7:13 p.m. I have had a lovely day. This was today a year ago. Rati cleaned my house in the morning. Then Lynn arrived and spent the afternoon with me. We sat under the trees and talked while Bobo entertained us by mooching schmackos, the round-shaped ones. He would yip, then lie down. My mouse is gone again. He would yip, then lie down and wait for Lynn to gift him one, then run and bury it in the garden somewhere, then return to mooch another. Very cute. After Lynn left, I worked on my coin earrings, polishing them. Then I took Bobo for a walk, which he thoroughly enjoyed, as he missed out yesterday. I feel exhausted today, but contented with my 3 pairs of coin earrings I made, and feeling successful and happy. Well, I'd be successful if my jewellery sold, but oh well. Oh well. You have to laugh. 1:07 a.m. So a few hours ago, I went out to look at the moon, couldn't see it due to cloud cover, and hang up a load of washing. Beauregard was outside with me. We both heard a loud clanging sound emanating from the kitchen. We both looked at each other. I was hanging up a sheet. I paused with trepidation. It had sounded metallic. I thought. I pushed down the fear or anxiety at my little poltergeist. Yesterday was my dead former mother's birthday, so something like that usually manifests. I had gotten through the day uneventfully, but had worked on earrings I made from coins, crossing the river Styx with tribute for the ferryman. Bit symbolic, that. Oh well. I'll have to make a pair for my own eyeballs, won't I? I had to resolder the sterling silver wires, and 2 coins sort of melted. Whoops! So I was preoccupied with striving to attain perfection when I had already failed, as is my wont. Beauregard, reacting to the sound and noticing me trying hard to ignore it, went running to the fence and barked loudly at something invisible. I keep calm and keep hanging up washing. Then he runs back to the back door and stares through the screen into the kitchen, waiting for me to come see what caused the commotion, his body all rigid in expectation. I finish hanging up the washing, then mosey into the house. Bobo looks at me in consternation, goes over to sniff it. It's a bread and butter knife that I had sat on top of a glass bowl which had the last of the adzuki bean hummus in it. The knife is lying on the floor, pointed with its blade towards the back door. Interesting. I nonchalantly pick it up, throw it in the sink. Riley, I think to myself, gentleman caller, which is what Mrs. Robertson taught me is what it means when a knife falls on the floor. A fork represents a woman visitor, but this knife did not fall, and we're getting rained on now. Can you believe it? Well, I said it was going to happen. But this knife did not fall. It was pushed off the bowl, and I know that as it was balanced across it quite well when I walked outside. So yeah, whomever did that upset my dog slightly and got my attention. Even though I acted nonchalant, it did unsettle me a bit. Yeah, we're on the move, people, we're on the move. We're on the move, because I've got electrical cords and shit, and we're on the move. Here we go. We can do this, people. We can do this. Just sit up here out of the rain. Oh dear goddess. Oh dear goddess. By that I mean the Shekhinah. Well, it's open to interpretation. Whichever goddess comes to assist me and heal my bladder and heal my life so I can have a few good years on this planet, hopefully with a beloved one. I gratefully welcome her energy and love and light into my life. But it may be too late, people. It may be too late for me. But anyway, never mind. Think happy thoughts. On we go. So this all happened just after 11 p.m. Then I went to bed. I snoozed until now, but decided to record it. Hopefully that spirit won't do any more poltergeist activity tomorrow when Rati is here to clean. I must have written that. Yeah, I did at 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're going backwards in time, because wait a minute, I already said she'd cleaned. We're going backwards in time. They seem to like to rattle her, so I had to have a little word to my house spirits to not upset my cleaning lady, or especially not upset my lawnmower man who struggles in summer and doesn't really want to do the job that much. They must not be upset. I need them to do the work. So there is that. So yeah, I may have to do a house cleansing, although I don't feel that it was a negative spirit, but I have been tricked before. Men in human form, faking love for me for decades, was enough evil to recalibrate from. Indeed. It's now 1:23 a.m. Time to attempt sleep. I have been dreaming very intensely in recent weeks, so this should be interesting. Laila Tov, that means good night. The Holy One is protecting and guarding me in his own unique way and in his own timing, I suppose. I am loved. I am blessed. I am protected. Amen. Ninth of February 2020. So last night, even though I was still fairly exhausted from dancing the night before and hesitated to go out a second night, I went back to the casino, as I love alter egos. As often happens when you have a perfectly wild, magical night like we had on Friday night, the vibe was more sullen. Pardon me. I still had a good time, even though I thought I saw Dave's girlfriend watching me. Weird. Then, of course, his friend Stan, true to form, watched me all night long and even moved directly opposite me when I reclaimed my infamous spot. This is how I know he deliberately watches me, as he has no reason to cross over to the opposite side like I do. It's creepy and weird, but hey, he's been doing this for 6 years, so I'm kind of used to the general lunacy of the various regulars there. Anyway, last night when I got home and took off my dress, I heard a thump of what sounded like metal hit the floor. I looked down but couldn't see anything on my side of the bed. I bent down to look, but both sides of the bed are my side of the bed, so it's a sleeper line, but I always sleep on the left side is what I mean by that. I bent down to look, but was too tired and unwilling to crawl on the floor, so not seeing anything, thought, fuck it, and crawled into bed and passed out with exhaustion. So this morning, actually midday, I walked to the opposite side of my bed to turn off the fan. To my great surprise, there was a ring with the Eye of Horus lying on the floor next to the fan. What the fuck? Where did that even come from? I picked it up. It's just costume jewellery, and the metal is quite worn. It is chunky enough to be a man's ring. So that was the loud clunk I heard last night, but I did not hear it rolling across the floor, so the dog or cats must have kicked it across at some stage of the night. Still weird though. Then I remembered that some young woman last night had approached me and literally and very inappropriately had shoved her hand down my cleavage, like right down. I was wearing a strapless bra, so she must have shoved the ring down my boobs, or alternatively, it must have slipped off her hand when she did that odd manoeuvre. I looked her in the eye and smiled indulgently, but waggled my finger at her. I never felt the ring in my boobillage at all, which is also highly unusual, as my bras always hurt like fucking Hades. Yes, even when I get the correct size. As my skin is so sensitive, I usually get irked by even a crumb of food poking down my cleavage. Never mind a fairly large fricking ring. Anyway, the young woman went to shove her hand down my tits a second time. I said, "Don't do that again, or they'll all want some." She grinned, but I cast her my steely eye, so she knew I meant business this time. She says, "I love you." I smiled and nodded. Alcoholic blackout does weird shit to people. She was with her much older boyfriend, so she's not gay, but what the fuck? I don't let men grope me, so it always bemuses me when women think they can do that and get away with it. Gross, but kind of funny. So next week, I will have to take the ring back with me, even though it's not worth anything intrinsically, as she must have lost it in my cleavage. So I will have to ask her if it's hers. Awkward. Her boyfriend is a regular, so it might have been his ring. It is not unusual that people there give me little gifts, but usually they tell you they are giving it to you, not stuff it down your bra. Oh my God. Also, the weird way it appeared on the opposite side of my bed. The Eye of Horus represents protection, so it's a sign. Interesting. And here's a photo I took of me wearing. Turned out to be Frank's ring after all, who was the much older gentleman with that wild little girlfriend which he broke up with not long after. She was too wild for him, he said. I found her quite delightful because Me being a bit wild myself, I like wild women, but I don't appreciate them when they grope my boobies or shove things into my bra. That was a little bit too much for my blood too. Then I posted an article in Wikipedia on the meaning of Eye of Horus. And then I commented, "Oh, and oh my goddess, but look how old my hands look." Don't look too bad at the moment, but in that photo they look shocking. I have the hands of an 80-year-old. Sun damage. Arg. The ring on the left I bought in a second-hand shop in Byron Bay in May 2019. The all-seeing eye of God. It is also inscribed with the words sacred space and magic, which is why I bought it. It's only stainless steel, but eventually I will get it copied in sterling silver or gold if I get enough money. Lol. Unfortunately, I lost it a couple of years later. It came into my life suddenly and left just as suddenly, but it was a lovely ring, and it was literally a message from the gods. Came in, I bought it just before that near-death experience in 25th of June 2019. Yes, here I write. But it came to me just prior to that earth-shattering battle for my very life I had with that surgery on 25th of June, and the past 7 months of epic struggle to overcome it. So perhaps this ring being shoved on me literally is another sign, as it represents healing. I must have turned another corner as I managed 2 whole nights of dancing this weekend. I have not been physically able to do that since the surgery. Hopefully I'm getting stronger mentally and physically. Also, a man's ring finding itself on the male side of my bed was a bit quirky and startling. Maybe a partner is imminent, but I won't get my hopes up too much, laughing my ass off. And here I post a photo of the other ring, which I have since lost. I lost it walking the dog, and I never found it again. Upsetting. I have the means now. I could have cast it and copied it, right? But anyway, let it go, let it go. I get these little talismans brought to me by Spirit. A few years ago I found a token in my grass that said Galaxy. When Jared and I googled it, it was from some amusement arcade from the 90s. So that was also bizarre, because not long before I found that token, I had a weird encounter with some creepy guy at Lefty's music hall, and he was creepy. And he kept yelling at me, Galaxy, Galaxy. And then I found that coin and I was like, okay, that's a bit weird. Anyway, the galaxy is indeed, we are in the Milky Way galaxy, and yeah, it was a bit of a wake-up call to stay alert to psychos especially, but just stay up on my feet and keep dancing my dance. My cousin in New Zealand, Megan, wrote, "It's meant to be yours, cousin. Don't give it away." But I had a fairly good idea it belonged to Frank, because his girlfriend shoving it down my cleavage was just a bit of mischief on her part. And he was so happy that I gave it back to him, actually. I said to him, "You have the rare privilege of being almost sleeping in my bedroom beside me." And he looked at me, I went, "It's as close as you're ever gonna get, mate." I said, "Your ring turning up beside my bed." Even he had to laugh. I said, "I don't know why she put it down my cleavage and why I didn't feel it until I came, till I got undressed," I said, because it was quite a big ring. Anyway, funny things that happen at the casino. Here's a photo of me with my beautiful boy, my handsome boy. Loved his mama, he did, and mama loved him, but now he's in Valhalla. Speaking of which, yes, it's raining. Oh, and you're wet. You're a wet birdie. A wet birdie in the rain. You gonna sing in the rain, Charlie? Singing in the rain. That's not the melody, but you know what I mean, Charlie. I love you. Are you a happy birdie? Huh. It's just flicked up on my computer. Earthquake shakes thousands across Melbourne and southern Victoria. Huh. Not supposed to get earthquakes in Australia, isn't that weird? We do get them from time to time. Oh well. Pardon me. 9th of February 2019. My beautiful friend Lynn has invited me over for a swim. Glorious. About to go in. Thanks, Lynn. You goddess, you. I love swimming in water in the heat. Oh my goodness. Goddess, goddess. Another day in paradise, another scathingly humid day. Sophie and Socks are lying on the wooden floor to keep cool. I gave frozen corn to Betty, my one remaining but molting and still broody hen. Even the scrub turkeys are dropping feathers everywhere. It's too hot. I had a good sleep eventually, so that is a positive. Sleep-deprived Tanyas are terrifying. Really, truly. So now I'm humble and humid in this hot, hot city. Bones still aching from the heat and probably from all the sugary comfort food I ate. Not good for my gallstones or my arthritis. But I am healing every day, a new beginning. I sometimes like to fantasize that my future self is going to be amazing. Why not? One has to believe in magic and manifestations, in beauty, bliss and peace, and good, kind, decent people. They exist. They are out there. I am fortunate to have them in my life now. I remember how we were looked down upon as too poor or not quite successful enough or deemed too mad. But now, giggles, those callow, selfish narcopaths that try to destroy us are now running around in the night, stinking up the place. Karma. Schadenfreude. I must put the brakes on my righteous anger, lest I become as rotten and befouled and stinking as they. When you look into the abyss looks right back at you, babies. It's a fine line. Ho-hum. Life is beautiful. As my dear friend Lynn often reminded me when I was in the depths of such despair and horror, I will always, always see or hear the end of the story. It was a contract I begged of God once, many years ago, that I see natural justice, righteousness play out in this life, so I can know definitively that my prayers were heard and that I did not suffer in vain. The smitings came quick, within a few years, and now, over a decade later, I still see how the great mystery harmonises and brings rectification and great healing to my constantly jagged, jarring, off-kilter life. I am grateful and satisfied. I lost any hope of a love partner, homes, business, wealth, but in the sorting of the chaff from the wheat, I got me back and some very staunch, loving friends who keep me precious and love me. I got to know when I tell my enemies that God is on my side, which used to utterly terrify David Davidson, that I am not speaking idly or making wishful projections. I really am loved and protected by someone up there, or in here, or even inside our earth, wherever God is manifest. Right now, he's in my birdie that wants kisses. Of course, the Holy One had to let me experience a few too many ghastly horrors like sexual assaults and falling in love with psychic vampires. But even that was so I could discover how much richness and beauty and power resides inside my moribund, broken, duct-taped heart. Oh, hello, look at this. I love you. Corazon, a heart of a warrior goddess. But back then, I did not know who I was. I was too beaten down and broken, and death was all around me, inside me, becoming me. It took a long time to finally say, okay, death, let's do this. Let's finish this langsam, slow, burning, erotic tango. I wrapped my legs around him and drew him close. We writhed metaphysically for hours, but someone had to break it up. It was too erotic for them. Don't you hate those fucking passion killers? I'm thinking of my last dance with Marco here. It was a long, erotic goodbye. How I like it. No hanging on, pining like a bitch, like I did with that fucking useless, boring, cold, psychopathic Wiglet. Oh, Marco stalked me for 4 months after, dancing with Seagull right close to me. He finished how he started, an obsessive stalker, and I just turned my back and wiggled my luscious old ass, even though I really, really wanted to punch him right in his two-faced, sex-addicted, treacherous kisser. But I did not. I remained classy, and finally he got bored of trying to upset me and moved on. Good. Arrivederci, Marco. I was not in love with him. Knew he was a liar and faithless. Told him so. And actually, to be fair, to be really truthful, I was starting to fall in love with him, and I knew that was dangerous because he was just such a playboy and unreliable and just so crazy. I couldn't allow that to happen to my art. I was still recovering from Dave, so no. he had to go. And he was probably one of the most passionate paramours of my life. And in that sense, he was delightful, but he wasn't real, couldn't be real with me, and had to go. So there is that. Then I went back to my celibacy so I could heal my heart. After 3.5 years, another former lover, Dead Elvis, rolls eyes. What is it with me attracting zombies and vampires and stinking, rotting, false former friends and partners? He slipped fourth base, but he resented me a bottle of Solo, oh the irony, lemonade, and I really did not want another casual using partner on my hands. So here I sit, free. I kept loving that wiglet for no good reason, but my heart is so broken it sings its own cacophonous song and refuses to listen to reason. However, I kept believing in myself too. In time, he too revealed his true colours, and my heart went on without him. Not many men can handle my heart, my brain, or my spirit. I understand. It's terrifying. I had to survive too many predators from infancy, so that created a woman who wants what everyone wants as a divine right: true, nurturing, safe, wonderful love. But I am unwilling to sacrifice my independence, my mind, my integrity, or my hard-won innate power for it. Nor should any man who truly cares for me want me to. It's really humid now, I'm breaking into a sweat. Of course, I'm kept protected by my very jealous God by being kept in poor health and poverty, as that is what puts any potential partner off. They want glitzy models with wealth and full vitality. Who can blame them? Where can I find one? Laughing my ass off. Anyway, a certain fiery, fierce redhead named Julie heard the call to kill my passionate tango with Lord Death. So here we sit, plutzing and schwitzing through the rest of my life on this planet. Thanks, Julie, I think. We got this. I get to keep writing creepy, weird shit about my life and dig my toes in the sands of time while watching the tides ebb and flow. And some of you with bold hearts get to watch me do it. Mama T needs to get to Byron. I need the healing waters. Summer is almost over. And my beautiful friend in Canada, Laura Martin, sent me this meme. Can you see it? Fell years ago, never gave up. Pretty much defines my spirit, doesn't it? Well, I didn't so much fall as was pushed down into the ground, stomped down into the ground, over and over and over again. But I never gave up. I mean, I thought I'd given up for sometimes decades at a time. But when I rise up, people, look out. I always rise up again. Yes, my darling. 9th of February 2018, 10:39 p.m. Pain in leg bad, exacerbated by carrying heavy cat litter and 3 tins of dog food home. Going to bed. Took last Lyrica capsule to aid sleep as it does nothing for the pain. I can't access my GP twit until payday on Tuesday, so the next few days I will be detoxing off the Lyrica and probably not sleeping. Not looking forward to that, but shit happens. Maybe by Tuesday I will be pain-free. Must remain hopeful and positive. Anyway, I had a nice day knitting Oberon for Crystal's friend in England. I folded all my washing, watched Gaia, and rested until I had to make a late night dash to Woolies as I had no wet food for my very hungry beau. Also, the pussies needed cat litter. So all is sorted now until payday. Woot! Some days are just wonderful in spite of the pain. Lila Tov, good night. Here I posted an article, 10 scientifically most painful ways to die ever. Grip something by freaked.com. Wow. Oddly, I was thinking about the different ways to die this arvo. Then this showed up on my feed tonight. Macabrely synchronistic. "10:25 a.m. Awake. Pain still present. But I think I'm getting slightly better as I had a decent sleep, apart from getting up at 2 and 3 a.m. A deep sleep really helps the body to restore itself. Ya think? Wonder when I'll have a deep sleep ever again, Charlie. Jesus. I had a weird but intensely beautiful dream about going to a beach with my elderly mother, of all people. Ugh. And we stopped outside a convenience store and met up with Lucy. Lucy was my friend's daughter, who was a heroin addict and was constantly on the methadone program. But I was quite close to Lucy for quite some time, and tried to assist her as much as I could. But another psychic vampire, whole family of them, 15 years I was enmeshed with them. But anyway, never mind, it is what it is. So in the dream, I met up with Lucy, who had a little girl with her, who I did not recognise. The child was tired, so Lucy sat her in the car and I watched her doze. There were pine trees all around, and I did not recognise the area at all, but I insisted that I go for a swim, so my mother grudgingly followed me to the shore. The water was crystal clear, and there were many other people swimming. I entered the water, and to my delight, it was warm. It's always a good omen when you dream of crystal clear water, by the way. I looked down into the ocean, and swimming lazily and fearlessly around me were huge coral-coloured fish. Coral trout? They were so beautiful and so tame. 4 or 5 fish were swimming near me. I put my hand down in the water and stroked one along its back, and it just remained there in perfect communion and harmony with me. I was delighted. Then my mother called me out of the ocean as she was worried about leaving Lucy and her little girl, so reluctantly I got out of the water. I tried to convince Lucy to come with us further down the coast so we could spend the day together and go swimming, but she refused. that was the end of the dream. So it was both stressful and blissful at the same time. Dealing with other difficult humans is stressful, and taking control of my life and swimming freely through it, being met by other souls without judgment or hate or criticism, like the coral trout I met in the dream, is blissful, beautiful, and liberating. Perhaps I finally get to go to Stradbroke Island again, as the coral trout might be symbolic of the coral sea, and the colours and scenery reminded me of Point Lookout. Or perhaps it is another place I might visit one day. Or perhaps it is just my brain cells dying as I synapse away my pain, laughing my ass off. King Oberon is coming along nicely. I can't find my felt to complete his eyes and lips, but his ears turned out okay. So that's what I was doing before I took up silversmithing, knitting fairies, which is why my business is called Titania's Realm, after Queen Titania, the Russian forest fairy, or the English one, because in Russia she's called Tatiana and in England she's called Titania. Here's a photo of the beautiful Charlie. She had like these weird marks on her beak, weird black spots on her beak, and I notice she's got one again. So I don't know what causes that, but they come and go from time to time. Little Miss Charlie. Yes, little Miss Charlie. I'm talking about you and how cute you are. Mummy's birdie. Mummy's birdie. Can you see yourself in the... She can see herself in the iPhone screen. Who's that birdie there? Who is it? Look, there she is. Oh my goodness. Who's that little birdie? Is she cute? Is she adorable? Is she feisty? Chip off the old block, aren't you, Charlie? My beautiful friend Margaret Jakovac bought me this lovely bracelet when she stopped over in Amsterdam. Thank you, Margaret. I am delighted that you thought of me, especially with the connection to Kees, aka the tulip, who came from a town not far from Amsterdam, Ouderkerk, der Amstel. The lovely red thread is of Kabbalistic meaning also. I shall wear it with pride and happiness. Kiss, kiss, kiss. P.S. I love the note paper also. I shall keep it for decoupage. Just gorgeous. And I did actually use it in my decoupage eventually. Ninth of February 2017. Lila Tov, time to schluff. Dream, the psychedelic dreamer's dream. Awaken in another paradigm. It has been raining outside. Same deal. What is it? 3, 4, 7 years later. And the air smells sweet. Lovely. Got hit on the back of my head again. The bloody chicken coop will kill me one day. My night flowering water lily flowered last night. I missed it. Hopefully I will see her bloom tonight. And no blooms this year, but I didn't repot them, so they probably won't bloom. Some more photos of Beauregard. Yes. Did you just say bye-bye? Sounded like she said bye-bye, didn't it? Can you say bye-bye? There's bye-bye. There's our photos of bye-bye. Yes. She said it again, didn't she? Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, darling. She misses him terribly. We'll quickly scroll down so she's not traumatised by looking at a photo of him. It's probably a bit confusing. All right, little girl. It's all right. 9th of February 2016. I do not feel well today. So what else is new, baby girl? This is exacerbated after finding out that my beautiful friend died of leukemia years ago. With the knowledge that the yeshiva had enabled the rape of her son, then covered up the abuse by throwing the boy out of the college and withdrawing his scholarship. Fucking evil bastards. If I had known, I would have fought beside her and demanded justice for his son and for her. Instead, I ended up mourning her at her graveside, throwing clods of earth on her coffin. I feel so distressed and enraged at her terrible fate. She had been a good mother and had flown to Melbourne to try to get support from yeshiva after her son revealed his abuse to her. Even deathly ill, she still did right by her son, unlike my own bastard family of origin, who scapegoated and sold me down the river when I spoke out about my own abuse. Linda, I love you, you brave, wonderful woman. I am so sorry they let you die with the grief and horror of this without supporting you even a tiny bit. May your soul find rest and peace, and may your son find the justice he so long fought for. I hope like hell he gets compensation and justice. I have moved the Silkies' coop and hosed it out and replaced all their nests. What a task. It is so cumbersome to move. Now sitting in the shade, schwitzing, watching Beauregard, watching the crows eat his bone and the 2 pears I threw for the chickens. I put an apple in his pool for the crows to die for. He got annoyed, so reclaimed his bone. So now the crows are eating pear and not caring about Bobo at all. He harasses the hens all day long, but seemed wary of the crows with their long beaks and arrogance. Very amusing to watch. When Lynn visited earlier, one of the crows made so much noise, competing with our conversation, I stopped and asked him what his problem was. He kept cawing and croaking for a long while. It was funny. The birds compete for my attention. I filled up, oh, she says, oh. I filled up the clamshell pool with fresh water as I was aware that the crow was fetching about wanting a swim. Bobo just had a quick dip in it, then ran into the house, racing all over the place to shake off the water. Nice guy, not. Not very well today, time to rest. Lynn visited and kindly brought me saws and gutter guard from Sylvia's clean out of her garage as she is selling up due to the back problem. Sylvia has lived there for 27 years. So sad. 9th of February 2015, 11:54 a.m. Finally finished giving my statement. Now at Macca's having some food. My friend Nikki asked, "What statement did you give, hun?" Me. Statement to police about the woman who sent me 3 disgusting voicemails and has been harassing me at the casino and slandering me to many acquaintances. She will hopefully be charged. I am done with being victimised and vilified for no good reason. This time I am taking action. And Nikki replied, "Good on you, girl." And I replied, "Thanks, Nikki. But to be honest, it is grueling and awful to discover how many enemies I have at both Irish Murphys and the casino. However, I know I did nothing wrong, so I'm going to continue to fight for my rights to have a social life and go dancing." I just got up and went to let the chooks out, found Mischief dead, Frida grieving in the corner of the coop. Very upsetting, as he was my lovely boy who copied the sound of my kisses. He would literally go to me. Sometimes Charlie does that too. I have just buried him. I can't believe he died. He was not even a year old yet. No sign of broken neck or any disease. Perhaps the heat got to him, but he was showing no signs of heat distress yesterday. When will my cascade of trauma ever end? It has been constant for the past 4 months. Dear God, please take this evil eye away from me and return the evil negativity to its original source. Thank you. Yes, what Mama said. 9th of February 2015. We're still in 2015. I'm starting to fade, can you tell? I'm moving in out of ordinary reality and floating in and out of my body. It's called disassociation, people. But I'm doing it a lot lately because I'm exhausted from the peeing all night, not getting enough sleep. Or I get snatches of sleep, but not getting enough restorative rest, REM. Anyway. I posted an article from metaspoon.com. This single mother of 4 can't afford her groceries, but keep an eye on the man behind her. Woa. Very sweet, he's handing her money. There are good people in the world that you come across from time to time. Thank the gods for them. My comment was, I have been in that position many times in my adult life, raising my kids in poverty, which should never have happened, people, but that's what happens when you marry a bastard. I am grateful for the beautiful people who helped me all those times, and I still believe in sharing and paying it forward. Humans need to show loving kindness and support each other, even more so in difficult economic times. If nothing else, it edifies your spirit and makes you happy. To give without expectation of reward is the highest, noblest form of charity, according to Moses Maimonides. It was very hard for me to ask for help in the first few years after I divorced and was forced into poverty. The shame and humiliation was almost unbearable. Now, I'm able to both receive with grace and gratitude and share my rare moments of abundance with others. My cup runneth over. Smiley face. I wish. Manifesting, people. Manifesting. 9th of February 2014. Oh, getting a pain in my tailbone because I'm sitting uncomfortably here. Alright, you've just poopy kinned on mama. Okay, I don't like being poopy kinned on. I'm just going to put us down for a moment and get a cloth and wipe off the poop. It's slowly stopping raining, but now I can't sit outside because it's too bloody wet. Damn it. Anyway, here we go. Wash off the poop. She's a very nosy bird today. Very nosy birdie. Oh, man, that hurts so much. Grinding away in my tailbone. Anyway, on we go. 9th of February 2014. Don't need to be looking down my cleavage, gentlemen. It's a bad positioning, isn't it? Let's move slightly. I got to move in such a way that I'm not sitting on my assets. Ouch. Right, here we go. Alright. Yes, my love. Oh my goodness. You want to play? You want to play? You want to chew mama's hand? You want to get attention? Alright. You is a lovely bird, really. You is. So 2014. Ow, no, bite his mama. No. Crystal has my car and my iPhone as I left it charging. Grr. She cooked Jared and I a lovely spaghetti bolognese and lactose-free ice cream thick shakes. Yum. We read our tarot cards. Very interesting. I had an awesome night out last night with that creature I find so loathsome I won't even name it. Also an awesome Thursday and Friday night. Tonight I am quite tired but happy as a chocoholic in the lint factory. I have been binging on lollies. Oops, empty calories and highs, but I'm happy to have noticed a certain tone of muscles to my normally chocoholic flabster frame. Dancing is good. Only exercise, apart from swimming, anyone can get me to do happily. You are funny birdie today. Look at this. She's really smoochy today. I am carless tomorrow, so I might go for a walk in the forest if it isn't raining. Walking is good to clear the head as well. Let's swap hands because I need the mouse now. Gosh, Charlie. Just gosh. I know, you were comfortable there, but Mummy's nearly finished. And I've somehow flipped right out of the screen. How does that even happen? Dear goddess. Alright, back we go. Scroll down. Scroll down. How did that happen, Charlie? She says, I don't know, Mama T. Da, 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 da. da 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 da. Walking is good to clear the head as well. Right, here we are, back in the room. 3:31 a.m. Home from a great night dancing with Creature. We left slightly early as her eyes were sore and my feet hurt so much I couldn't bear the shoes on any longer. So we went to KFC for a snack and Macca's for McFlurries. Happy day. I suppose I did have some nice times with her until she became a treacherous, venomous snake in the grass. 9th of February 2013. My happiness quotient 7 out of 10. Motivation 3 out of 10. Wildness 8 out of 10. Desire to do housework 3 out of 10. So I'm going to go out and visit Lynn. Smiley face. 4:12 p.m. Just woke up. Chest still tight but had a good sleep, although I knocked myself out with a bit more Seroquel, which was actually an antipsychotic. I was on a very low dose of it for my anxiety, but pretty much only used it to knock myself out to go to sleep, right? Because that's pretty much all it was good for, apart from turning me into a hugely obese, shuffling automaton that drooled and had Parkinsonian symptoms, so there was that. But oh Val, the things you do to stay alive, right? Dear goddess. Day is almost over, but the night stretches beyond me rather enticingly. If my lungs aren't too irritated, I might go out after all, even for an hour or two. House quiet but lonely. What can a wild woman do but run or dance free? Lol. Yesterday and this morning I spent on Paltalk and later watching Wolfman, keeping myself quiet, warm and rested to try to cure my asthma, as if that makes any difference. I didn't feel well enough to go dancing, so we'll see how I feel by Saturday night. I am reasonably content, which is nice. 9th of February 2011. What have you done? Pulling my bra up. More gardening frenzies. Today I went out and bought a black bat plant and 2 gingers for my understory rainforesty area I've designated to be under my frangipani trees. And all 3 plants died, mind you. I was really annoyed about the black bat plant dying because it was lovely and I was looking forward to it being under there. But anywho, they will be beautiful when they spread out and put out pups and fill the area a bit more. It was hot work digging them in with a mattock, so after that I had to lie down on the lounger and read a book and kind of dozed for a while. Then it got dark, so I went inside. The air was cool and breezy, so it was a really lovely day. Yesterday I pulled out masses of weeds from my lawn. It's too overwhelming. I might have to poison whole areas, which I don't like putting poison down, ever. What a job. I am also killing off whole sections with black plastic, but it takes much longer. Now I need to dedicate a few weeks to cleaning house, hiding hidden shame and whispering in a very small voice, shame. Maybe when it cools down, I'll get motivated to clean house, clean mind, clean a garden, lol. In those days, I was hardly inside the house at all. I was always, like I am now, sitting out in the garden, actually doing a lot of gardening, which is why I have such a lovely garden now, right? But I did not want to be indoors at all. I was under the effects of very heavy psych meds, and I was just wanting my freedom, I guess. Wanting fresh air and freedom. And I'd spent decades sleeping in my bed, sleeping 20 hours a day. So then it shifted to the other side of the sort of Damocles, where I didn't want to be in bed and wanted to be out in the garden. And now I'm back sort of a little bit more balanced, where I'm either watching TV, making my YouTube videos, or I'm out dancing on the Friday night, or I'm in my garden. So it's a little bit more, equal amounts of time spent doing either activities. But on that note, thus concludes readings of today's even date. Charlie, say goodbye to the people. You've managed to poop on me again, you little monster. You want to scratch? You want to scratch? Oh, you want to scratch? You're such a smoochy birdie today. Are you happy today? She's been giving me the cold shoulder for the last few days. Maybe she wasn't feeling too great or depressed or something, but today she's a very happy birdie. I took her for a walk yesterday late afternoon when it cooled down a bit, and my friend Margot was driving home with her two little girls, so she stopped and chatted to us for a while, and then we carried on with our walk, and then we were walking down Cavendish Road, and this lovely lady walking towards us stopped, and she said, "Is that your pet bird?" And I said, "Oh yes." She said, "Oh, she's so happy." And I thought, oh, how lovely that someone observed that Charlie was happy yesterday. Charlie's a happy birdie. Look at her. She's so gorgeous. She's so gorgeous. Mama's little happy bird. Where are you going now, Charlie? Excuse me. There we go. All right, on that note, I bid you adieu, and I'll be back tomorrow with whatever offerings I have tomorrow. I'll probably be astonishingly tired if I manage to push myself out to go dancing. So there is that. But as always, I move through life one day at a time, sometimes one moment at a time, barely holding myself together because of the exhaustion. But I am content. I get a kind of a euphoria when I don't sleep too. So I'm actually quite contented, quite happy actually. It's amazing how the brain takes over and drives this body like the meat sack it really is and says, hell no, we won't go. We're not giving up just yet. Anyway, on that note, love to all my beautiful friends, family and YouTube audience that take the time to watch my videos. You're very brave and I salute you. And it's not easy watching me struggle at the moment, but if the gods allow it, I shall be granted more time on planet Earth and I'll get better, and there'll be more wild stories and more dancing and maybe a truly loving partner one day in the future. The psychedelic dreamer never stops dreaming. So on that note, bye for now. Have a beautiful day, people. Night, afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are on the space-time continuum. Be happy no matter what, no matter who, no matter how, and take delight in all that surrounds you, and Shalom. Bye for now.